Hi, everybody. This is Sarah Hobson with Wider Path Home Foundation, and we are blessed today because we get to meet Christine and James, and they are first-time home buyers, and they received one of our Wider Path Home Foundation grants. And we're here to learn what this grant has meant to them and what this home has meant to them. Welcome, both of you, so much. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, can you just give us a sense of home ownership? Was this something that happened for your families? Was this something that you learned from your parents? What's your parents' story first and foremost of home ownership, and how did it impact you?
Yeah. So I'll start, but my family is from Haiti originally, and they have been in the United States. My mom, since she was in her 20s, and my dad came to the US when he was 17, so right at the end of high school. And they, from my understanding, were actually living in an apartment together. And I came about. They had a child already, but once they were planning for me to come about 3 months after, they decided to buy their first house. So way back in 1990. And from there, we've moved to 3 different states, Maryland, Florida, Georgia, and back to Maryland. So they've purchased in all different states, and they always taught my siblings and I just the value of owning property. So not only did they somehow manage to purchase these different houses in every state, but they also have a home that they have built in Haiti, and also always talked about owning land. So they also ventured out and found random land to purchase in the South and Southern states as well. So I knew home ownership was something that I wanted to do, but for me, I had this vision of like buying my first home with my husband, and like I was happy to be a renter. I mean, in hindsight, not so happy, but I was happy to rent until I could do something together with my husband. And so I'm glad that James and I could make this first purchase together.
That's so cool. Thank you so much for sharing that. James, how about you? What was your family story?
Well, my family story was my dad came here a long time ago, like maybe like 50 years ago, or a little bit under. He my mom came about like 43 years ago, so they met on a bus, and then it went from there. We actually used to live in an apartment to start, and then my dad bought a home when I was around like 4 years old, and then we lived there for a little bit. Then sadly my parents separated, so we moved with my mom to an apartment, and we stayed there in Alexandria for like a few years, and then eventually in 1999 she purchased a home in Burke. So that was our first time getting a home with my mom, and she always then they always we always saw it as a big accomplishment, to purchase a home for a single mother. And it's always just been a goal of mine, and she always instilled that with me as well. My dad has purchased like a home, and then purchased another one as well recently, not too long ago, maybe actually like 5 years ago. So he's always been the type as well that purchases homes. And it's just always been like a big goal of mine, especially with like seeing what my mom did when she did it back in the day when we were little. Like she purchased a home, and it was always something I saw that it was so big, and I wanted to do that. And I'm so blessed to be able to do that with my wife. That was always a dream of mine when I was a kid, like I want to have a home with a wife and a child, and now I'm living it, so it's just like it's amazing. And you all helped us. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's our pleasure. It's totally our pleasure. Where were your parents from?
Bolivia. My mom, she's from Bolivia, and my dad is from El Salvador. So yes, I'm a Latino American.
Oh my goodness. So do you still have family in Bolivia and El Salvador and Haiti? And
we
do you go back and visit? Yeah.
It's been a while since I visited Bolivia or El Salvador, but I mean I still have family there, and of course, thank God for Facebook, right? And things like that. So we keep in contact. I want to visit soon.
That's so amazing. So, what was your process? I mean, you guys are relatively young. It sounds like your parents impacted you to think about home ownership young, and you knew their journeys. And so you could see how important it was. And you got to experience having a home with your mom and all of that. What was your process of setting your own mindset towards home ownership? And when did you start wanting to purchase a home? And when did you start actively preparing to purchase?
So for me, the one thing my parents emphasized a lot was having like good credit, building up the credit. You know, they allowed me to get my first credit card when I was 20 and for emergencies only, but they knew it was going to be important for me to get started thinking about building my credit so that I could one day buy a car and a house without having too much difficulty. And I think I even had a line of credit start when I was in high school, just a small little $300 through the bank, but it helped teach me about, you know, borrowing money that wasn't mine ultimately, and that I would have to pay back with such a small amount. And they always, even after I finished school, encouraged me to purchase a home. But like I said, my mindset was, I want to wait until I find the right person, and this can be the thing we do together. But I did try to start saving, and that was me preparing, but I had no idea the costs that were really involved with saving. So even though I knew I needed to have savings for purchasing a home, I in my mind, or at least what I was told, is, oh, don't worry, like closing costs will be covered for you by the seller. Not that I knew what that meant, but I just did not realize how much I needed compared to what I had saved. But thankfully, at least my credit was good at that point.
Oh yeah, that's wonderful. Really, really wonderful. How about you, for you, James?
For me, like I always was I as well like was told that credit is very important as a younger child, you know. I learned a lot through just self experience, you know. My mom of course guided me along the lines, but I always planned on purchasing a home as well when I was married, you know. I would rent rooms here and there and basements here and there, like just saving up a little bit here and there, you know, but like never really planning to buy a home until I found my wife, you know, my future wife, which is present now, you know. So
when did you guys get married?
we got married a couple of years ago, yeah.
Okay. And did you
last year, yeah.
last year? Wow. So did you start looking for a home right away?
We kind of were like, yeah, I think we started like talking about like when we were engaged, like you know, that was a possibility soon, you know. So
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we definitely were like, well, we should definitely purchase a home because that's something we both believed in, you know, being married, yeah, and finding a home then, you know, because I mean, being single and not married, I didn't really feel pressure for it sometimes. My mom would say maybe you should try to look into it, but I'd be like, I don't know if I want to buy a home alone.
Right.
You know, that'd be an empty house. You know, but
like, and we looked at renting houses before, and we were like, well, by the time we rent, like, and pay someone else's mortgage, it was going to be a lot of money just to rent. So we figured that was another I guess thing we realized was it's better to pay off our own mortgage and own the property and be able to sell it in the future rather than rent and just have that money go nowhere, have nothing for to our names.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
You thought, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Yeah.
Oh no, I was just saying, yeah, we thought about renting, but then we thought that process too, you know, paying someone else's mortgage. So it's like, let's have something for ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would imagine rents are pretty high where you live as well, even if it was an apartment.
Yes,
yeah,
definitely.
Sure.
Yeah. So where were you living before you might have been living separately, but where were you living before in Virginia? And then how did you determine, and where are you living now, and how did you choose this community?
Well, we were living in Alexandria before. I was living in Falls Church for a little bit as well. I was doing a little like, kind of moving around a little bit. We decided to move to Stafford because it's like more of a quiet area. It's like a little farther out, and living in Alexandria was a little loud. It's like 20
Busy.
minutes from DC, very busy. We wanted just a quiet area, like kind of like for me, like I grew up in Burke, and that like kind of like mostly grew up in Burke, so like I like that quiet atmosphere, and I just like love that. So
Very cool. Where were you living?
Yeah, we were in Alexandria
Oh,
together
both of you.
for a
Okay.
little bit of time after
yeah.
he moved from Falls Church. And I'm originally from Maryland, and I was in Silver Spring for about 7 years before I moved to Alexandria.
Okay, great. So now in Stafford, did you find the housing to be affordable? Was there access to affordable housing? Were you shocked by how much the housing was? What did you think about sort of once you honed in on Stafford, or what made you, it was more rural, it was more outside the city and all of that, but what else drew you there?
Honestly, the housing market has been crazy since we started looking, and even before, I know. And this was our fourth or fifth offer on
Yeah,
the house.
yeah. So we got it actually, so
Yeah.
it's great. And we really love this house too. It's like exactly like what we wanted, and it was I would say it was like surprisingly like more expensive than we thought, but we knew it was kind of higher now, it's not 2010 anymore, so it's like, so it was definitely shockingly expensive, but like we're still happy, I think it's starting to get more expensive now, so we
Yeah.
got it at the right time, like right at the deadline, so
Oh yeah, I totally know what you mean by that with the interest rates and everything.
Yeah.
So who is your loan officer and your realtor, and how did they help you through the process? What did you kind of learn from them, or where were they able to kind of, make things easier for you or help you understand things or anything?
yeah. Chris Urich was our realtor. He really like had great knowledge on everything, pretty much a lot of areas. He's actually a pretty good he's a successful realtor. He sells a lot of homes, and he just really like walked us through well, friendly and everything. So he did great for us.
Yeah.
Chris Urich.
Yeah, and he's with Major Key
Yeah.
Realtors.
Okay,
Major
Major Key Realtors, Chris
Yeah.
Urich. Okay, awesome. And then who was your lender or your loan officer?
Yeah, we worked with Embrace Home Loans, David and Brittany Eichmann. They helped walk us through the process, and as far as the financial side of things, yeah.
And were they helpful in kind of helping you figure out the kind of loan to get and how to put it together with other state loans or benefits or those kinds of things to get? That's a lot to figure out which loan to go with to save costs. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And at that point too, we had spoken with different lenders, and understanding both of our financial backgrounds, we had an idea of, do we want to go conventional? What makes more sense? Should we try to get something with the VA as a veteran? But so we had an idea of thankfully of what made sense for us financially, and they helped lay out the numbers for us so that we knew what what to expect at the end, basically. Yeah.
So you got to compare loans and kind of see different options, and then what would you pay over the life of the loan versus each month for each one, and then kind of make your own informed decision for your own wealth building process.
Exactly.
That's great. So in terms of your home now and where you live in Stafford, and in terms of your current career paths and your current interests in community and all of that, where are you, thinking about getting involved in the community, or where have you always been involved, or what will this home mean for you as a member of the community?
Well, I have been relatively active as far as our immediate home community, in making sure I participate in all of the HOA meetings that happen every month, and vocalizing. The board for our HOA has been receptive, honestly, since we moved in, very helpful, in responding and also vocalizing any questions and issues that we've had, or concerns. Not necessarily, we haven't had any issues, but I've also semi-jokingly mentioned that, maybe now that we're settled in a community, I can like join something in politics, run for something. But, just even starting with joining a committee could be something that I see for myself in the future, because we do have a small child, we have a baby. And so I want to make sure that this neighborhood, this area, this city is just going to continue thriving and be a safe environment with sidewalks. That's a big thing for me, that, she can grow up in for as long as we're here in this house, and, maybe even in this city as well.
That's amazing. Congratulations on your child, by the way. We'll come back to that in a second. James, how about for you? Yeah.
I definitely I work a lot, but I still try to hear what she tells me about like all like the things she's participating in, and also like doing like something small, like just decorating our homes during the holidays, just to show that, hey, we're a happy family, just spread that energy around. We had a couple like fall decorations, and of course we're gonna go all out for Christmas, just to share a little energy, to like, hey, that's that like young family over there that likes to be festive and happy, just spread some good energy into the neighborhood.
I love that so much. I love that so much. It's like creativity for you, and it's joy and beauty for the neighborhood. And
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, drive past it, be like, hey, that's a happy family over there.
yeah,
Good to
yeah.
have that.
No, it's needed, so needed. So going back to that happy family, so how old is your daughter? And how is it being new parents in a home with a baby?
So she just turned 6 months.
The 16th.
Yeah.
So
November. She is 6 months now. She is just such a delight. It's been great. I was literally just like, right before we jumped on this call, I was saying how she gets bored a little easily. So imagine if we were still in the apartment, I have to change up the scenery for her sometimes. So I'm really glad that we're in a house. We can change floors, the levels, we can change the play mats around for her. Otherwise, she might be crying a lot more, but she's a very happy baby.
Yeah,
she's
very happy, and she's very much a homebody. When we go out, it's like she starts whining, crying, and then we get home and she just lights up. She's so happy. It's been great. It's been great. Parenthood has been like the best thing we've ever done. It's like I used to be able to like think that I could imagine it, but it's like 100 times that. I'd be like, oh, like I could kind of imagine how it feels, like you love something you gave life to, but it's like just 1,000 times that. It's just incredible. It's like the best thing that's ever happened, and to be able to like give her home is a dream. It was a personal dream of mine. I always wanted to do that, a happy home, and it's just so great. It's an incredible title. It's the best title to be parents, have a little baby girl, it's incredible.
Congratulations. I think the difference, I've lived in apartments, I've lived in a house now, and I'm actually a new homeowner myself, and I just, there's so much that goes into taking care of a home, but the home takes care of you. When you take care of it, it takes care of you, right? So it just sounds to me like it's a stabilizing influence for her, that she is already taking that on as that this is a rock solid home that she can count on.
That's
Oh,
so
for sure.
true. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it
Um,
was a fun experience because she was born, and then we closed on our house 4 days later.
uh-huh.
So for about 2 weeks, she did get to experience the apartment life
Yeah, we'll remind her of that, you know.
of
It's
her
like you
humble
did,
beginnings.
yeah, her humble beginnings in an apartment, you know.
And you kind of can see the difference for her in the apartment versus the house. And
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. For
yeah.
sure.
So how did the grant help you?
Honestly, our this home buying process and experience would not have been possible
Mhm.
without this Wider Path grant. Um, like I mentioned, as far as preparing and saving, I was nowhere near what we needed together combined. We didn't realize how much of a financial cost it would be to invest in our own home. And this grant just helped solidify the lenders that we were going to work with because they told us about this grant, and just helped make us our home ownership even possible this year.
Absolutely. It was literally like everything, you know, it literally like helped the whole process, you know, it was everything. And we'll always be so thankful. It's like without that, we possibly wouldn't be in this lovely home right now, you know. So it was pretty much everything, you know. So it's like now we get to give Alana a happy home, you know, be a happy little family, you know. It's great.
That means the world to us. That means the world to us. So it really makes us happy. I'm so happy for you guys. It's really awesome.
Thank you so much.
We thank you.
We thank you.
Truly.
We thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Congratulations on everything. Seriously. I mean, this is a big deal. And congratulations on finding a community that you love. And now, do you work in DC or do you work from home, or is there a commute for you, or what does that look like?
Yeah, so thankfully I work from home. I'm a government contractor and I was doing about 40% telework before, and now we're 100% since COVID. And so as of now, there's no plans to return to the office. So I'm able to work from home and take care of everything I need to from home as well. Take care of the house as well.
Mm.
Incredible. Yeah. How about you, James? Do you work from
I,
home, or do you have
I
to travel?
work I work 20 minutes from here. I work in Woodbridge. I'm a restaurant manager. So I that's what I'm doing right now. It's a lot of work. I'm not home a lot, but I mean like I get to, it's not as bad as it sounds sometimes, you know. So I get to be home a fair amount still. You know,
Good. I'm
so
glad, because restaurant managing is a big
oh
job.
yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. It is. But luckily, it's not more than 50 hours ever. So it's like it's fun sometimes.
Good. Good.
Most of the time, yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's not too far of a commute. That's amazing.
No, yeah, it's 20 minutes, which is great. You know, it's just right here. You know, where we picked the Stafford spot where it's like almost into Woodbridge, but like not too deep into Stafford. So
So
Yeah.
that was a
it's
big
good.
yeah.
About your choice for where to
About
go.
our choice. Yeah,
Mhm.
finding something not too far from work, even though he can go anywhere. But and then of course I work from home, but it was it helped draw us closer to this area of being okay with Prince William County or Stafford County or so even Spotsylvania. But thankfully we landed in the middle.
Yeah.
That is so great. I love that. So you can run home if you need to for your wife and your baby.
Mhm.
It's not too far. You can
Yeah,
get.
it's not too far. Yeah, I could run home and be here pretty fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you guys both so much for your time, for this, for sharing this story. What would you say to other home buyers who are out there, who are your age and stage, and maybe they're single, maybe they're dating, maybe they're working towards marriage, wherever they might be? What would you say to them? I think a lot of people in their 20s and their 30s sort of feel like homeownership is just not going to happen. And what would you say to them to encourage them?
I would say just keep trying. Um, dreams come true. You know, like it's not, nothing is too impossible, you know, like just keep trying, keep saving, be smart, you know, like just things like that, you know, it seems like so far like so like crazy sometimes to own a home, but it can be done, you know, just pray and keep trying, you know.
And I would say, don't be afraid to take a risk. I Part of me wishes that I did have something, even if it was a condo in my early 20s that I purchased, because then I could have had the equity to buy something with my husband, or we could have rented it and, you know, had income. I wish I just thought a little smarter and and was willing to take that risk. It is a beautiful story that we were able to get married, buy a house, have a baby, but at the same time, I think it would have helped. We could have helped each other if we did take that risk earlier in life, buying something, and we could have brought an added value to our relationship that way as well. So don't be afraid to take a risk, even if, you know, life circumstances are not exactly what you think they should be or want them to be. If you have the opportunity, then capture that moment, and you will be able to see how it will help in the future.
I couldn't agree with that more. Do you guys feel like now that you have a home that's changed your future and where you might go with your lives?
Oh, for sure. I think so, 100%.
Yeah.
How do you see it changing your trajectory, your life trajectory, having this home?
I think a big part is, you know, I mentioned with my family how we moved a lot. Granted, they showed that it is possible to, you know, pick up and move your whole family and your life to even a new state if needed. But we're just getting started, and I think we're gonna just stay for a little longer than I guess I anticipated. Had we been renting still, you know, where we would have had to think about where we're going to move next, where we're going to live. But right now we have that peace in our hearts that we can stay where we are for as long as we need to.
Yeah, absolutely. And
So
we have to be established here, you know. So
yeah, you have a chance to get established.
yeah.
And that's what you want to do, is really go deep with a community and put your roots down.
Oh, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. 100%.
Neat. So it just changes everything for both of you to have that nice, secure
yeah.
place where you can grow deep and wide.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to you both. Way to go on purchasing young. And you know, we wish you all the best with your child, and can't wait to stay in touch with you and to see how things continue to unfold for you. We know that post-purchase is a big deal too, that home ownership has some, you know, emergency savings that come with it. And it sounds like you guys got a pretty new place though. Is that right?
It is built, it was built in 1989. So not too new.
But yeah, but it definitely like feels good.
Yeah, it was definitely updated since in the last couple years, with different remodeling of different things.
Yeah, it's still a very young home. That's pretty exciting. That's very,
Yeah.
very exciting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm from St. Louis. Our homes are like 100 years old, and so
Yeah.
yeah. Well, we just hope you enjoy your home to the max, and we're here if you need us, and feel free to let other people know about the grants. You know, we definitely want others to know that it is possible and that there are down payment assistance funds that are available, either through Wider Path or through other sources. And it takes some navigating to figure out what those are. And you guys did an amazing job of finding us. And we're just so glad to, you know, have you as part of our family and to be able to be a part of yours.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
And
We're
honestly,
so thankful.
yeah, I'm really thankful our realtor was very helpful with just connecting us to different lenders to help us know too that we have options.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I think that was very beneficial and helpful. Because he was well connected.
Mhm.
That helped us.
Yep.
even meet the Embrace Home Loan family.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm so grateful to your realtor as well. And just thank you again for your time. And we wish you the most amazing Thanksgiving with your daughter and your everything that's going to be a first for you in this new home.
You too.
Thank you so much. You
Have-
too.